Today is Giving Tuesday, a day to encourage people to do good and give back to their communities. Coming up, we take a look at the day's history and what it means for Arizona residents.
And why you might want to get your tree early this year if you celebrate Christmas.
And later, on Break It Down, we take a look at the levels of Native American representation on a new television show and what that means for the film industry.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Sean DePaz.
And I'm Diana Quintero. Thank you for joining us. Giving Tuesday is an annual global movement on the Tuesday after U.S. Thanksgiving. Cronkite News reporter Megan Newsham is at the Google touchscreen to tell us how it all got started.
Giving Tuesday was originally created in New York in 2012 as a day to encourage people to do good. And 9 years later, it is now an independent nonprofit and global movement that inspires people all across the world to give back to their communities. This year, many Arizona nonprofits are attempting to recover from a year of fundraising challenges and lack of available volunteers. The Alliance of Arizona Nonprofits projects the total loss of revenue for state charities by the end of this year to be $433 million. In response to these issues, the CARES Act for 2021 has extended and expanded several federal tax donation benefits for those giving to charities.
This is a rare opportunity for people to take advantage of that deduction, and we hope that people are considering that when they're looking at their year-end giving as well.
Individual taxpayers are allowed to deduct up to $300 for charitable tax donations, even if they don't itemize and take the standard deduction. Married filing jointly taxpayers can deduct up to $600. If you qualify to itemize deductions, the deduction cap has been raised from 60% of adjusted gross income to 100% again for 2021. Donors who take the standard deduction have until December 31st to take advantage of the federal deduction benefits. This is in addition to two separate Arizona tax credits to charitable organizations. One which allows $400 to $800 for qualified charities, and the second which allows $500 to $1,000 for qualifying foster care charities. At the Google touchscreen, I'm Megan Newsham.
The holiday season is a time for celebration and decoration, but this year, a shortage of traditional Christmas trees might halt the holiday fun. Cronkite News reporter Raven Payne tells us what's behind the shortage and what people can do to continue the season festivities in style.
Christmas tree lots across the country generally get most of their trees from the Northwest. Arizona lots get theirs from Oregon. According to the National Integrated Drought Information System, 92% of Oregon is experiencing severe drought. Valley View tree specialist Scott Albertson says the severe drought in Oregon and other environmental factors means a shortage of trees here.
First off, these trees take like 10 years to grow from seed. I mean, the trees you're looking at right now were planted between 2009 and 2013, so there's already a fixed supply that we have to work with. And then this last season, we had a lot of wildfires, a lot of heat waves, and a lot of drought up in the Pacific Northwest.
And this lot is filled with Christmas trees just like these, but unfortunately, many other lots will not look the same this year. According to Albertson, the supply chain issues we've seen across the country in recent months is another reason we're seeing less Christmas trees in lots this year.
The second issue that we're dealing with is shipping. They're increasing costs with fuel and trucking, and significant shortage in the amount of trucking that we can get is just significantly limited in how we can get the trees delivered to us.
Sal Broccoli with Moon Valley Nursery says despite the shortages, his lot is still working to make getting a tree a family experience.
We want our clients to be able to come in and hear the Christmas music and hear the chainsaws going, have the fire burning. It's a tradition. It's like going to a pumpkin patch. It's something you do as a family event.
Broccoli suggests to come out early if you want to get your hands on the perfect Christmas tree. Another option are smaller potted trees that can be replanted in your yard. Both lots think they'll have enough to supply everyone who wants to bring a little green into their home. In Phoenix, Raven Payne, Cronkite News.
The shortage isn't just impacting live trees. The National Christmas Tree Association says the supply chain issues have hit artificial trees as well.
Indigenous heritage can be celebrated through many different forms of expression. After the break, one artist shares his intricate process of carving shells in his own words.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons. Your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Jacob Butler and his family have called the Phoenix area home for generations. He creates art in a unique way with hopes of keeping his heritage alive for generations to come. Spencer Chiak shares this artist story in his own words.
And so the Pueblo Grande is a special place. As a direct lineal descendant of the people that once lived here, when left whole, there were chalices they were used to drink from or store things in there. So they find paint, pigments, and different things stored in these shells. I place a resin on this shell, and so all the shiny parts is the surface of the shell. And so I paint a design on this shell, and so once the resin is on here and it's dried, I'll submerge it in the wine for 12 to 24 hours. And then when I take it out, all the parts that weren't protected by the resin gets chewed away. And so that's this recessed areas. The stain of the wine will give it a dark brown or even a gray color. One of the things that I like to do to make them stand out is I rub them with the red clay from our community, and I'll powder it down and I'll rub it into the grain, because the grain that was chewed away is more porous. And so it holds the color. It's also kind of cool because when this is gifted to somebody, then they're carrying a little piece of our community home with them. We have these canal systems, and that's what these things depict here, these wavy lines. But rainfall is also very important. And so if you look at the red sections, those are clouds, and then these are rain. And the way I was told is that this image with the center point, this is the center of your world, and this is the outskirts of your world, the world that you live in, meaning where I live my daily life. And so from the mountain ranges to the mountain ranges, this is like my world. And so this is the rainfall that falls all around us. And this is the canal systems that surround my home. You know, we have a man in the maze that they say is like our life. And every turn in that maze and every corner is a turning point or a major occurrence in your life. I like to recognize either the fact that we are the descendants of this ancient group of people that archaeologists call Holcomb, or represent and I guess honor our relationship to water, and that is something to be protected and cared for. And so that's what it means when you see shell.
You can see Butler's artwork on display at the Indigenous Peoples Festival December 11th and 12th at the Pueblo Grande Museum Archaeological Park.
The city of Phoenix is on track to break a record for the warmest month of November ever recorded by the National Weather Service. According to the National Weather Service, if temperatures hit at least 80 degrees today, Phoenix will have had 25 days of 80 degrees or higher temperatures. This would break the record set back in November of 1949, where Phoenix had 24 days of 80 degrees or warmer temperatures. Weather officials say that Phoenix residents should expect the warm weather to extend into at least early December.
Speaking of that heat record, Nick Shesky is in our Cronkite News Weather Center with details on what to expect tonight and the rest of the week.
It's the last day of November here, so let's take a look at some of the temperatures all across the U.S. as we head into the December month here. You can see up here in the Northeast, all this blue means it's going to be really icy cold up there in the Northeast. Cities like Buffalo and New York, 39 and 41 degrees. Some really cool temperatures all across the U.S. Here in Phoenix, it's pretty nice still. We got 84 degrees here in Phoenix as the high for tomorrow, 71 up in Sedona. Some nice highs across the state, but our lows across the state, they can get pretty low. When you go further up north, the elevation gets real high and the temperature is pretty low. And so with Flagstaff, cities like Flagstaff and Grand Canyon, you can see 22, 20 degrees up there in those blue parts of the state up there with their cold temperatures. Now looking at our evening planner for tonight, right now it's about 74 degrees, some wind going down, but as that sun sets, it's going to cool down by about 10 degrees, come around 10 p.m. to a nice 64 degrees for a pretty comfortable temperature tonight. And looking at our 8-day forecast for these next couple of days, it's going to be pretty sunny. Some clouds in the sky tomorrow, but low 80 degrees. Those clouds are going to go away, and it's going to be sunny for the next couple of days until about next Monday, Tuesday. Those clouds are going to come back, and they're going to drop our temperature back into the mid-70s for 75, 76 degrees next week as we head into December. In the Weather Center, Nick Shesky, Cronkite News.
I'm Cam Dyer. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. We'll show you how a family-owned go-karting business builds relationships on and off the racetrack.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing. Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Welcome back. I'm Cam Dyer, and here's your Cronkite Sports Report. The teams with the two best records in the NBA face off tonight at the Footprint Center as the Red Hot Suns take on the Golden State Warriors. The Suns are looking to extend their win streak to 17 games, tying the franchise record, and the Warriors are trying to extend their 7-game hot streak. This matchup is the first time in NBA history where each team is on at least a 7-game win streak. Sun center JaVale McGee thinks the team isn't getting the recognition they deserve.
The team going 16 in a row versus the number one team in the league, that should be a pretty big headline, but I ain't seen it nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It's really not getting all the publicity everybody else is, but we cool leaving our heads down and being a great team and locking into what we do and just keeping it in-house. And I feel like the world will see when the time comes.
Phoenix Kart Racing Association is a place for all to come race, from ages 5 to 75. Cronkite News reporter Ashlyn Register has more on how it has become a family affair for one race team.
It's race day, but for those behind the wheel, most of them do not even have their driver's license yet.
My favorite part about race day is probably the competition of racing. It's very fun.
But these kids could not have gotten here without their families. For Gunnar Ray, racing is something he gets to do with his dad.
Getting to go places with my dad and just getting like something that I never would with any other sport.
Providing a fulfilling family experience is paramount at Phoenix Kart Racing Association, and it all starts with the Ruth family.
It's all I've ever done, you know, with my own family when I was younger, with my parents and my brother, and then now with my children and my wife. It's what we do.
Curtis Ruth and his wife Melissa are the owners of Innovative Karting in Glendale with their 3 sons, Matthew, Kevin, and Tristan. Their motto is, "We are a family-owned business and kart racing is our passion."
And it's just really cool that they're all involved with the same passion and the same sport. It gives them something all in common to do together.
Curtis Ruth grew up racing at PKRA in the 90s at the age of 12, but started his racing career much younger. It was something he got to do with his dad growing up.
My father raced, and he started when he was 4 years old himself, along with his 2 brothers. And so it's, you know, generations of racing that brought us here.
Phoenix Kart Racing Association and Innovative Karting will continue to build those special family relationships on and off the track. In Glendale, Ashland Register, Cronkite News.
The Phoenix Kart Racing Association started their Winter League November 7th, and it will continue all the way through March. The Coyotes secured their 5th win last night against the Winnipeg Jets, but the win wasn't the only exciting thing that happened for the Coyotes. For goalie Karol Vejmelka, he had his first career shutout, as well as making NHL history with 46 saves, the most by a goalie in their first shutout. And that does it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Sean and Diana.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us.